Hi guys, I'm going to talk today about the Cartesian plane. You might have done some graphing before using axes, and if you were using whole numbers, that was probably a Cartesian plane and you just didn't know it. So we have the x-axis along the bottom, and in this quadrant, so there are 4 quadrants of a Cartesian plane. This is the first quadrant. We have positive values of x. So counting from 0 at the origin to 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, goes on forever, hence the arrow. The y-axis is counting up as well, 1, 2, and so on, hopefully at obviously exactly the same rate. I've drawn that so accurately. And any given point on this plane can be described. So if we go here, I can describe that point by some ordered pair or coordinate. So I start with brackets and a comma. And here I'm going to put the x value or the x coordinate of that point. So the x value is 5. And here I'm going to put the y value. The y value here is 2. So for any point, if we were to choose another one, let's say here, that coordinate would be x is 2, y is 4, and it's x, y always, really important that we don't put them in the opposite direction. Because if I mix those up, and I read this as y is 2, x is 4, I'm actually talking about this point here, which is totally different. So it's really important that we read this as x, y, and if you struggle to remember that, it's just alphabetical. X comes before y in the alphabet. So in the first quadrant, both x and y are positive. In the second quadrant, so we're going anti-clockwise here, starting from the positive place. In the second quadrant, y is still positive, but x goes backwards. So when you did integers this year, you would have gone backwards on the number line. So that's what's happening here. And I might have a coordinate, this one here. In the second quadrant, x coordinate is now -2, and y is +2. So all of the points in the second quadrant have a negative x component and a positive y component. Now if we're looking in the third quadrant, still in the negative x, also now negative y in the same way. And fourth quadrant, positive x, negative y. So it's really important every time you draw up a Cartesian plane that you label it with arrows on the ends of all 4 sides, because they go on forever, and that your scale is consistent. So you've actually measured, you haven't just randomly, really dodgily drawn them on a line, and it's consistent, otherwise you're going to get the wrong idea.